I want to welcome everyone here because, you know, it's a great honor that we started this program 3 years ago to really honor living veterans, because one of my first official duties when I became county executive back in 2012 was to honor deceased veterans. And being a veteran myself, it was hard because I've always stayed away from that stuff. You know, we do our own things as veterans, and so it was difficult. Though it was an exciting first day of office, it was a tough one for me. But as I got doing the deceased veterans, I noticed more and more people would be in the audience. And I talked to them, and I'm like, oh, how'd you know the person? They go, well, I really didn't. I met them through the VFW, or they helped me out on this. And what a great person, helped me change my life around. And I'm like, wouldn't that be nice to hear while you're still here? You know, so we kind of started looking at things, and we worked with the different VFWs and looked at how we're doing things. And we said, let's do living veterans to thank them for their service.
Under the grace of God, every minute of every day, there is a soldier somewhere far from home, giving all he has to give for a much higher cause. Likewise, there's always a veteran somewhere with their fingertips on a war memorial, thanking a fallen soldier for saving their life years before. These brave soldiers, sailors, flyers, and Marines died protecting their country and what it stands for. They died defending a way of life they felt was worth dying for. When a soldier goes into battle, he is immediately stripped of any prejudices incurred at home. He is no longer described according to ethnic background, religious belief, or political affiliation. Instead, he is left with the title of an American soldier, sailor, airman, or Marine.
Over 1.1 million Americans have laid down the ultimate sacrifice for this country. Have given their life up for our freedoms. And if you think of a population of 330 million Americans in this country, and less than 1% have served. Less than 1%. We enjoy every day. We've been at war for 15 years, and most people don't even feel it. We have troops going downrange back in Iraq, still in Afghanistan, and laying their lives on the line. And one of the most alarming things to me as a veteran is the amount of soldiers that are coming back that are committing suicide. You know, it's alarming, 22 a day. And if you figure that out times 365, you're talking over 8,000 veterans. And considering 15 years of war, we've only lost north of 6,000 soldiers, is alarming as all hell. It's our time to give back. It's our time to recognize, to thank veterans, to be there for them as they adjust back into society, to be the shoulder, to be the crutch, to be the shoulder they can lean on. And that's only possible with the people here, but it's also possible by the past veterans that have served, and that's why we're here.
Kenny was probably one of the most respected service managers that ever existed in the city of Albany. I could give you war stories about Kenny that don't involve guns and bayonets, but I don't want to embarrass him. We had a few in Orange Motors over the years. But he worked for the Tuohys, and the Tuohys had so much respect for Ken, I can't even begin to tell you. Kenny went from service manager to salesman to general sales manager. And I've kept close to Ken all them years. And I guess what's so interesting right now is that he hasn't given that up. He still comes into Orange Motors at least once a month to see the guys. And Kenny knows all the guys. And I'll tell you, he did a marvelous job working for Orange Motors.
Thank you, Carl. Very big surprise. I didn't think this was going to be. Thank you all, my family, my extended family, the Patriot Guard Riders, and I really appreciate being here. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you. Hold on, I got something for you.
George joined in 1943. At 19 years old, he went to boot camp. He likes to say on his birthday, April 12, 1923, he was born, and in 1945, President Roosevelt died. He said he had the honor in Jefferson to walk in his battalion behind him as they marched down for an action that was going on. He says he was too far ahead to actually meet him, but he said it was all the same, was really good. From when he started out as a surveyor, and then they sent him to college to be a surveyor. When he got done, they didn't know what to do with him, so they sent him to England. He was in England from 1944 to 1945, and he likes to tell you that At the end of the time, everybody likes to bring home souvenirs from wherever they are. He said he has the best souvenir anybody ever had. He brought home an English war bride, and her name was Paula. They had 3 beautiful children. They have 3 grandchildren and 1 very beautiful great-granddaughter, Tatiana. There's probably a whole lot more you can say. His medals that he brought home, he had Bronze Star. He had 4 Bronze Stars. He had one silver. He was a sharpshooter, carbine, marksman's badge. He had Good Conduct Medal, American Campaign Medal, European, African, Middle Eastern Campaign, World War II Victory Medal, and an Honorable Service lapel pin. I'd like to introduce to you Mr. George Bossett.
Thank you for letting us honor you today. Thank you for your service to your country, but thank you also for what you do in the community day in, day out, and the people that you have inspired and changed your lives along the way.
Yep, I'm going to introduce my father, Ralph Corsell, obviously a veteran of World War II, naval veteran. He served in the European theater. He told stories about the action, some of the action that he saw while in England. I don't know if he was talking about the war or the women, but he talked about the bombings. He talked about how brave the British were. He said we'd be running for the bomb shelters, and the British had finished their drink and then head to the bomb shelter. He also told a story about getting a Purple Heart for a bar fight. But seriously, great generation, great father.
What these 3 gentlemen have done to come back quietly, to serve their country, to make a change in a lot of people's lives that you're probably not even aware of the things that you have done for people, just living an ordinary life. And I always say this, and I like to sound like a broken record, is that, I always say to my own kids, don't look up to politicians or movie stars or rock stars, professional athletes. Look next door to your, to the person living not such an ordinary life, but making a change in people's lives. Because, when kids grow up, you look around, you look at your neighbors, you look at your family, and that's what really gives you the foundation for your life.